For many years, people were told that cheese was something to avoid, that it was too fatty, too heavy, and not friendly to the heart. So, a lot of adults over 60 quietly removed it from their plates, believing they were doing the right thing. But here is something important to understand. Not all cheese works the same way inside the body. And some types, when used correctly, may actually support muscle strength and daily mobility as we age. This matters because after 60, muscle loss becomes one of the biggest threats to independence. Not being able to lift groceries, needing help getting out of a chair, feeling unsteady on stairs. Many people assume this is just part of getting older, but in many cases, the body is simply not receiving the right signals and nutrients to maintain muscle tissue. Today, I want to share 3 specific cheeses that may help support muscle repair and strength when combined with light daily movement and balanced meals. They are ranked by impact, starting with a powerful but often overlooked option. And the first one may look like nothing more than a topping on pasta, but inside, it carries something very important for aging muscles. Let's begin. Cheese number 3, Parmesan. Parmesan is a hard, aged cheese with a strong, savory flavor. Most people think of it as something you sprinkle in small amounts, not something that could make a real difference for strength. But what makes Parmesan special is its natural concentration of an amino acid called leucine. Leucine plays a key role in sending a signal to muscle cells that tells them, now is the time to repair and rebuild. As we get older, the body becomes less responsive to normal protein intake. This means seniors often need stronger signals to activate muscle maintenance. And leucine is one of the most effective natural triggers for that process. Aging also affects digestion, and this is where Parmesan becomes even more helpful. Because it is aged for many months, most of the milk sugars are already broken down. This makes it easier to tolerate for people who feel uncomfortable after other dairy products. And the proteins are partially pre-digested by the aging process, which means the body can absorb them with less digestive effort. Now let's talk about how to use Parmesan in a helpful way. The goal is not to eat large blocks of it. The goal is to use small, regular portions that support muscle repair. A reasonable daily amount for many older adults is around 30 to 40 grams, which is about 1 to 1.5 ounces. Half of that can be used earlier in the day, especially after light movement, like walking, housework, or gentle exercise. The other half can be included with an evening meal to support overnight muscle recovery. Parmesan works best when added to real meals, not eaten alone. Sprinkle it over vegetables, lentils, soups, eggs, or whole grains. This helps slow digestion slightly and supports steady nutrient absorption. One important note. Not all products labeled Parmesan are the same. The versions that offer the most benefit are traditionally aged and made without fillers. Pre-shredded versions often contain added powders to prevent clumping, and those additives may reduce how well nutrients are absorbed. Look for blocks that are clearly labeled as traditionally aged and grate them yourself when possible. Another point to consider is sodium. Parmesan naturally contains salt, so it is best not to combine it with heavily processed meats or salty packaged foods in the same meal. When used as part of balanced dishes, Parmesan can be a useful addition rather than a burden. And when paired with light strength movements, even simple chair exercises or walking, the effect on muscle support can become noticeable over time. Now, while Parmesan helps activate muscle repair, the next cheese works in a very different way. It supports muscles during the hours when many people are losing tissue without realizing it, while they sleep. And that brings us to cheese number 2. Cheese number 2 works in a very different way from Parmesan. While Parmesan helps activate muscle repair, this next one helps protect muscles during the night. And that matters more than most people realize. After 60, the body becomes more likely to break down muscle tissue while sleeping. This happens because the body is in a fasting state for many hours, and without a steady supply of amino acids, it may begin using muscle as a fuel source. That is one of the quiet reasons why many older adults feel weaker in the morning than they did years ago. This is where cottage cheese becomes very helpful. Cottage cheese is rich in a slow-digesting protein called casein. Casein releases amino acids gradually over several hours. This creates a steady flow of building material for muscle repair throughout the night. Instead of muscles slowly breaking down, they receive gentle nutritional support while you sleep. This is especially useful for people who are not doing intense exercise but still want to maintain strength and mobility. Another benefit of cottage cheese is that it contains all essential amino acids in balanced proportions. It also provides calcium and phosphorus, which helps support the muscles that stabilize joints. For many seniors, joint weakness and muscle weakness develop together. Supporting both at the same time can make everyday movement feel easier. Now let's talk about how to use cottage cheese in the most helpful way. Timing is important here. Cottage cheese works best when eaten in the evening, about 30 to 60 minutes before bedtime. This allows digestion to begin while you are resting and supports muscle tissue during sleep. A useful serving size for many people is about 1 cup, or roughly 150 to 200 grams. Full fat or 2% versions tend to work better than fat-free because fat slows digestion and helps extend the release of amino acids overnight. If taste is a concern, cottage cheese can be mixed with gentle additions like cinnamon, a few berries, or a small amount of natural sweetness. Heavy sugars and processed toppings are best avoided, especially before sleep. For people who are sensitive to lactose, lactose-free cottage cheese is widely available and can be used the same way. There are also a few common mistakes to avoid. Some products are labeled whipped or light and contain less protein per serving. Always check the label and aim for at least 13 to 15 grams of protein per 100 grams. Another mistake is using cottage cheese earlier in the day instead of at night. While protein is helpful at any time, the real benefit of casein comes from protecting muscle during overnight fasting. And cottage cheese should not be cooked. Heating changes the structure of casein and removes its slow-release advantage. Used consistently in the evening, cottage cheese can help reduce nighttime muscle loss and support steadier strength over time. But even with both of these cheeses, one important piece is still missing. The final cheese on our list works faster, supports mobility, and helps activate muscle rebuilding soon after movement. This next one is especially useful for seniors who want to feel stronger during daily activities, not just at rest. Let's move to the top of the list. Now we reach the number 1 cheese for rebuilding strength after 60. This one works differently from both Parmesan and cottage cheese. Instead of focusing on long-term activation or overnight protection, this cheese supports muscle repair quickly, especially after movement. That cheese is ricotta. Ricotta is made from whey, the liquid that remains after other cheeses are produced. Whey contains fast-absorbing proteins and a high amount of branched-chain amino acids, which are especially important for muscle repair. For older adults, this matters because the body becomes slower at responding to protein. Fast-acting proteins can help overcome that resistance and signal muscles to begin rebuilding sooner. Ricotta also contains bioactive peptides that help reduce inflammation inside muscle tissue. Less inflammation means muscles recover faster and feel less stiff after daily activity. Several studies have shown that seniors who include whey-based dairy regularly can improve muscle size, walking speed, and leg strength within a few months, even without heavy exercise routines. That makes ricotta especially helpful for people who walk, garden, climb stairs, or do light home activities, but still want to regain strength. Another advantage of ricotta is texture. It is soft, easy to chew, and gentle on digestion. For seniors with dental issues or sensitive stomachs, this can make a big difference. Ricotta also provides calcium and phosphorus in forms that are easy to absorb, which helps support both muscles and the bones that protect them during falls. So how should ricotta be used? Timing is the key. Ricotta works best when eaten after movement. That can be after a walk, light stretching, household chores, or any gentle activity. During this time, muscle cells are more sensitive to nutrients and are more likely to use amino acids for repair instead of storing them as energy. A practical serving size is about half a cup to 1 cup, or roughly 100 to 200 grams. Here are simple ways to use it. Spread ricotta on whole grain toast with olive oil and tomato. Add a spoonful to scrambled eggs after cooking. Blend it into a smoothie with fruit and nuts. Mix it into warm vegetables or grain bowls. Fresh, plain ricotta works best. Flavored or sweetened versions often contain added sugar that can interfere with recovery. Low-fat versions may be useful for some people, but moderate natural fat helps support absorption of important vitamins that protect muscles and bones. Consistency also matters. Using ricotta 4 to 5 days per week after activity is far more helpful than eating it occasionally. And staying well hydrated helps the body process protein safely, especially for aging kidneys. Now let's quickly bring everything together. Each of these cheeses supports muscle in a different way. Parmesan helps activate muscle building by supplying high levels of leucine. Cottage cheese protects muscles overnight by delivering slow-release protein. Ricotta supports fast recovery after movement and helps reduce muscle inflammation. Used together in simple meals, they can help slow or even reverse age-related muscle loss. And that matters because muscle is not just about strength. It is about balance, independence, and staying active in daily life. If you have noticed difficulty carrying groceries, climbing stairs, or getting up from chairs, muscle support becomes more important than ever. Small changes in food timing and protein quality can create meaningful improvements over time. Before we finish, I want to ask you, which of these cheeses are you most likely to try first? And have you noticed changes in your strength recently? Share your experience in the comments. We read and respond to many of them. If this video helped you, consider sharing it with someone who could benefit from stronger muscles and better mobility. And if you would like more simple, practical health guidance for adults over 50, you're welcome to subscribe and join us in future videos.